Hey, I'm Jim Richards. I hope you are living life to its fullest. You know what? Jesus came specifically so you could live life to its fullest. And every word of instruction that God spoke from Genesis to Revelation was to equip you and train you and help you know how to put that into practice, how to come into that incredible life. Well, we're coming into the Christmas season. The Christmas season, for some people, is the best time of the year. For some people, it's the worst time of the year. The truth is, when I was young, I would get drunk or high about November or somewhere before Thanksgiving, and I would stay jacked up and messed up until about May because I could not stand the emotional struggle that I went through every year during the holidays. The holidays represented nothing but pain, abandonment, disappointment, and sorrow for me. Well, you know something? As I've walked with God and as I discover the goodness of God, as I turn Christmas into a time of celebrating who God is and what He's done for me, it's amazing how much my life has changed. And it's really amazing how little it matters what anybody out there does, what anybody out there doesn't do. I have discovered I have an incredible reason to rejoice. Now, there are so many things about the Christmas story that have gotten so far off track that we've just turned them into myths, into like little Sunday school stories, and really we discount them as being true because we don't know the facts. Uh, but I want to tell you today some facts about the Star of Bethlehem that's going to be an incredible faith builder for you. Because, we were taught that a star lowered itself, down from the heavens and came down, and the wise men were able to follow that star to Bethlehem and discover where Jesus was. But that's very probably not even close to what happened, because what we do know is this. We know that that when Daniel was taken into captivity, into Babylon, that he was used of God to minister to the leaders of that nation, and ultimately he instructed the Chaldeans and the stargazers, or whatever they would have called them, and told them about the messages that God had written in the stars. And he explained to them how that every sign of the zodiac, as we call it today, and all the constellations within those signs actually proclaim the gospel message. And he told them that at a certain point in history, that when the Messiah comes, in a particular constellation, a new star would appear. And when that star appeared, that would be the sign that the Messiah was coming to planet Earth. Now, history and science tells us that, in fact, a new star did appear in that particular constellation at the birth of Jesus. And Daniel told them that when that star appears, based on where it is in the constellation, they would understand what direction they needed to go to discover the birthplace of the Messiah. So it wasn't a star coming down and floating, down at a lower atmosphere as far as we can tell. Now, so that information was passed on to subsequent stargazers, astronomers, Chaldeans, people that worked with the government. Now, I want you to understand something, and I'll talk about this some in this message that I'm going to share with you. All the nations of the world knew that a Messiah was coming. They knew that when he came, there would be a sign of his coming in the stars. And so this is why every nation of the ancient world observed the stars so closely to see when the Messiah was coming. But the problem is, these were godless societies that hated the Creator, that were connected to idolatrous Luciferian gods. They weren't watching the stars so much to celebrate the coming of the Messiah. Like Herod, they were watching to destroy the Messiah when he came. Well, these stargazers, these astronomers, whatever they were called by that time in history, when they saw this new star appear in this particular constellation and where it appeared, they set out and they came halfway across the known world, And ultimately, as they were making their journey, they weren't sure where it was going to lead them. Now, this star didn't move and stop over the top of Bethlehem, but actually, when they reached Bethlehem to camp, according to history, they went to draw water from one of the wells that the patriarchs had dug a few thousand years before this. And when they looked down into the well, they realized that the star that they were watching was straight above, because they were seeing it reflected in the well. They knew that they were at the place where the Messiah would be born, and they searched around until they found him. Man, I could go on and on about this, but you know something? I've got a great message for you that I'd love to share with you. If you'll click the subscribe button below, this Thursday I'm gonna pop you an email with a link to a short message, and I'm telling you something, your heart is going to leap at how incredible God is and the lengths that God goes to lead us to his Messiah. Now, I got news for you. However you're struggling, whatever's going on in your life, you know, if God will appoint a star in the constellations to make sure the whole world can know when the Messiah comes, that he can do something in your own heart. If you're searching for God, God can do something in your heart. He can lead you to the solutions that you need. So be sure and click below and join me this Thursday, and I'm telling you something, it's going to be a faith builder for you.